Hello everybody, I'm the Italian Hillbilly. Today what we're going to do is a vegetarian lasagna with a white bechamel sauce, and to that sauce I'm going to add a gorgonzola and a Fontana cheese base. So what I'm doing right now is I'm cooking down my roux. Roux is half fat with half flour. So if you want to make a big batch of it and save most of it and just use a little at a time, you can do that. But I've only used about a quarter cup of each for this right now. You can always tell when your roux is done because it'll smell nutty, like a chestnut or something. If you don't want to add your milk or your cream to the roux when it's not really done because it'll taste chalky. Okay, so to that, I'm going to add about 2 cups of cream and about 2 cups of milk. Once we're done with adding that, we're just going to let it cook down for a little while. Let the roux mix with the milk, and I put it on low, so I'm going to start doing the rest of my lasagna. When that heats up enough to where it's about ready, I'm going to add my cheeses, and then I'll add my spices to that, and my Sauvignon white wine to that. So I'll be back as soon as I'm done. So anyway, when I left, I had the milk, the cream going. I added about a quarter cup of the white wine, and I put in about a half a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of basil, a tablespoon of parsley, a teaspoon of oregano, and a tablespoon of ground garlic. I put 2 teaspoons of sugar in there, and then I put it on low. It's starting to thicken up a little bit, but I'm not going to add the cheese until it starts thickening up, and then I'll add the cheese to that. Meanwhile, I took 2 pounds of ricotta. I separated them a pound each. I put the same thing in there. I put a teaspoon of oregano, a tablespoon of parsley, a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of basil, and then a tablespoon of granulated garlic. To that I added 1 egg. I'm going to add some cheese to that, a pecorino, about a half a cup in each. To that, I'm going to add my mozzarella. Now before I use my hands, I'm going to wash them. I had washed them earlier, but I've been touching things, so it's always good when you're going to put your hands in food to wash them. I'm going to put about 2 handfuls of that in there. With this one, I'm going to put about 2 handfuls, which equals about what I have left anyway, so that works out. I'll get rid off my hands. Now last night, I had a little time on my hands, so what I did is I sauteed a tablespoon of butter, a little bit of oil, some broccoli florets, and some grated carrots. And you only want that 3 to 5 minutes. Saute it really quick because you don't want it to get overdone because you're going to cook it in the lasagna. That's one of them. I'm going to throw that right inside of this. And the other one, I've got a half a bag, which is about 5 ounces of spinach. I sauteed that with some chopped onions and some mushrooms. That is going to go into the second batch. And slowly, I'm going to just get it all ground up together with the egg and the cheeses and everything. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but when I'm done, it's going to look like that. Okay, that's one. And then the second one, I'm also going to do the same thing. Try not to break anything, you know, I want everything to stay intact. I don't want it to be all tiny pieces in there. I want nice big chunks with all the vegetables. So, when that's done, this is what that looks like. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's not too much left to do now. That was the hard part, prepping it all. Now what I'm going to do is cook the noodles, finish off the sauce, and then we're going to layer this. I'll be back as soon as I'm done. Okay everybody, I'm back. I'm going to start cooking everything together. I cooked the noodles off. One thing I forgot to tell you is when I sauteed the mushrooms and everything, I didn't add no salt or spices to that because all the spices were going mixed in with the cheese. I didn't want to overspice everything. So now we got the sauce is all done. How nice and creamy this is. I don't know if you can see it really, but I'm going to add that on here. I've got about 2 ladles full, about 8 ounces. And with that, I'm going to start layering my noodles. Wash my hands again because I'm going to be touching food. Okay. I hope you can see it's not the best situation there where I've got the camera, but you can bring it down just a little bit. You won't be able to see me, but you'll be able to see the stuff I'm doing. And that's good enough. Now what I'm going to do is start layering this stuff in there. Don't be afraid to use your hands. It's your best tools. Just make sure they're clean. Next, what I'm gonna do is add some more sauce on this. And then I'm gonna have another layer to go on. Once that's done, I'm going to add the other pile of vegetables and cheese. Okay. Continue layer. The top one I'm just going to put on as much of this pasta that's left. Not a lot, but I'm cutting corners off a little bit and putting them in here. Okay. With that, I'm going to add a little bit more sauce on the top. Sprinkle that with some pecorino. Don't forget, I didn't put any pecorino in the sauce itself, but I did add it through the cheese. I'm going to have a generous amount of pecorino and some parsley. Set the oven at 350. Sure there's nothing in there. And then I'm going to cover this with foil, but I want you to see what it looks like right now. I hope you can see it. And I'm going to cook that for about 45 minutes to an hour, depending. I'll have my thermometer with me. Okay. Here's what it looks like after it came out of the oven. I cooked it for about an hour and a half. I put my thermometer in there. Made sure it came out to 165. Now I'm going to let it sit for between a half an hour and 45 minutes. And once I cut it, I'm going to let you know what it's like. I'll let it sit for about a half an hour, maybe 35 minutes. And this is what it looks like. Let me see if I can put this down a little bit. I can see the mushrooms and everything in here, the carrots, the broccoli. I'm going to take a little bite of this and let you know how it tastes. I'm going to put the camera back up here. Very cheesy. God, that's good. Now that's good. That is really good. I'll talk to you next time. I'm going to enjoy my dinner tonight. Good night.